You think you know Texas food, brisket, tacos, done. And that assumption is exactly the trap because Texas is bigger than most countries. And its best food is not the stuff on the billboards. It is the regional stuff that never left the state. There is a Czech sausage pastry that Texans eat for breakfast that most of America has never heard of. There is a bread so tied to this place that Texas made it an official state symbol. There is a soda the color of bubblegum and a stew so specific that Texans will fight you over whether it is allowed to have beans in it. This is not the tourist Texas of brisket and margaritas. This is the other Texas, Czech, German, South Texas, Mexican, and cowboy, all at once. These are 10 Texas foods you have never heard of, and everyone is worth trying. Stick around to number 1 because it is the dish Texas named its official state food, and the story behind it is bloodier and stranger than you would ever guess. Coming in at number 10 is a bread born on the open range, cooked over coals by men who did not have an oven, pan de campo. The name just means camp bread, and that is exactly what it was. A flat, chewy, slightly crusty bread that South Texas vaqueros and cowboys baked in a cast iron Dutch oven buried in campfire coals out on cattle drives with no kitchen for 100 miles. It lands somewhere between a biscuit and a flatbread, and it was built for a purpose: to sop up beans, to wrap around meat, to fill up a working man at the end of a long day in the saddle. And Texas takes it seriously enough that pan de campo is the official state bread. Think about that. Out of every bread in a state this size, the one they put on a pedestal is the humble bread the cowboys made over a fire. That tells you everything about how Texas feels about its ranch roots. And at number 9 is a soda so pink and so Texan that people who grew up on it get homesick just seeing a bottle. Big Red. It is a bright bubblegum-pink cream soda, and the flavor is hard to describe if you have never had one. Creamy, sweet, a little fruity, somewhere between cream soda and berry and cotton candy. It was created in Waco, Texas back in 1937, originally under the name Suntang Red Cream Soda, and it became a fiercely regional Texas thing. Here's the pairing every Texan knows: Big Red and barbecue. A cold Big Red next to a plate of smoked brisket or hot links is a genuine Texas tradition, especially in the Central Texas barbecue belt. And it is one of those sodas that most of the rest of the country has simply never seen in a cooler. In Texas, it is everywhere. Cross the state line and it basically vanishes. Coming in at number 8 is a casserole that every single Texan grew up on, and almost nobody outside Texas has ever tasted. King Ranch casserole. It is layers of chicken, torn tortillas, cheese, and a creamy, mildly spiced chili and tomato sauce, all baked together until it is bubbling and gooey. It is comfort food at its most pure, the potluck dish, the weeknight dish, the thing that shows up at church suppers and after funerals and on a Tuesday when nobody feels like cooking. Now, it is named after the King Ranch, the legendary Texas cattle empire. Though there is no real evidence it actually came from there, it is more that the name just sounded big and Texan. What is true is that it is a mid-century Texas kitchen staple that lives in handwritten recipe cards and church cookbooks all over the state and pretty much nowhere else. Mention King Ranch casserole to a Texan and watch their whole face change. And at number 7 is a taco where the shell itself is the whole miracle, the puffy taco. Instead of a flat, hard shell or a soft tortilla, you take fresh masa, the corn dough, and you fry it. And as it hits the oil, it puffs up and blisters into a light, crispy, pillowy shell. Then you fold it and fill it with picadillo or beans and cheese. And the texture is unlike any taco you have had. crunchy and airy on the outside, tender inside, with the fresh corn flavor of masa that has never seen a factory. It is a San Antonio specialty. Spots like Ray's and Henry's have been claiming the puffy taco and arguing over it for decades. And here is the catch, because the shell has to be fried fresh from wet masa the second before you eat it. A real puffy taco is genuinely hard to find done right anywhere outside South Texas. It does not travel. You would pretty much have to go get it. Coming in at number 6 is the true Texas breakfast that most of the country has never heard of, and it is Czech, Kolaches, and klobasniky. Now, a kolache is a soft, pillowy pastry with a sweet filling, fruit, or a sweet cheese pressed into the middle. But the one you really need to know is the savory one, the klobasniky, where that same buttery dough gets wrapped all the way around a sausage. Warm, soft, a little sweet dough against a snappy, salty sausage. That is the Texas gas station breakfast of champions, and it is glorious. It all came over with Czech immigrants who settled Central Texas starting in the 1850s. The little town of West Texas, not West Texas the region, the town called West, is the Kolache capital, and the village bakery there, opened in 1951, was the first Czech bakery in the state. Drive through Central Texas and the Kolache stops are a religion. Most of America has no idea any of it is there. And at number 5 is Texas stadium food at its most gloriously, unapologetically messy, the Frito pie. You take a single serving bag of Fritos, you split it right open down the side, and you pour chili, shredded cheese, and diced onion straight into the bag. Then you grab a plastic spoon and eat it out of the bag itself. That is it. It is salty, crunchy, cheesy, warm, and completely without pretense. The food of Friday night football games, county fairs, and gas stations all over Texas. And it is only possible because of a Texas invention, because Fritos themselves were created in San Antonio in 1932. So the Frito pie is a Texas food built on top of another Texas food. Texans sometimes call it a walking taco because you can eat it one-handed while you walk the stands. It is humble, it is a little ridiculous, and it is beloved. And that combination is very, very Texas. Coming in at number 4 is a Sunday morning ritual in South Texas that outsiders almost never get to see. Barbacoa. Traditionally, this is beef, specifically the whole head of the cow, slow cooked underground or cooked low and slow for hours until the meat turns silky, rich, and falling apart tender. Then it gets scooped onto warm corn tortillas with a little salsa, onion, and cilantro. And it is, hands down, one of the best breakfasts in America. The flavor is deep and beefy and luxurious in a way that comes only from cooking something that slow. It grew out of the ranch traditions of South Texas and northern Mexico, where nothing on the animal ever went to waste, and where cooking the tougher cuts forever was how you made them magnificent. To this day, it is a weekend thing. Families line up on Saturday and Sunday mornings at specific local meat markets and taquerias that only make it on the weekend. You have to know where to go, and once you do, you are set for life. And at number 3 is the breakfast Texas is willing to go to war over. Breakfast tacos, warm flour tortillas filled with combinations of scrambled egg, bacon, potato, cheese, refried beans, folded up in foil, and eaten on the way to work. Simple, perfect, handheld. And it is such a genuine Texas creation that the 2 biggest cities in the state, Austin and San Antonio, have a real ongoing blood feud argument over who does them better and who can claim them. The breakfast taco grew straight out of the deep Mexican-American breakfast culture of Texas, the migas, the taquitos, the whole tradition of wrapping breakfast in a tortilla. It has only recently started spreading to the rest of the country, and Texans have some strong feelings about outsiders discovering it and acting like it is new. To a Texan, the breakfast taco is not a trend. It is just breakfast, and it always has been. Coming in at number 2 is the plate that might be the truest Texas comfort food of them all, chicken fried steak. And yes, the name is confusing on purpose. There is no chicken in it. It is a tenderized beef steak, breaded and fried exactly like fried chicken, until the crust goes craggy and golden, and then the whole thing gets smothered in a peppery white cream gravy. Crispy, crunchy, tender beef, gravy over everything. It is the plate at every Texas diner and every meat and three in the state. And the origin most food historians point to is German and Austrian immigrants who brought their Wiener Schnitzel, a breaded fried veal cutlet, to the Texas Hill Country in the 1800s, where it collided with Southern frying and Southern gravy and became something new. And at number 1 is the official state dish of Texas, and a food whose real history is stranger and bloodier than its cozy reputation, chili con carne. This is the Texas original, a thick, spicy stew of beef and chilies, slow cooked and deeply seasoned, and in the true Texas version, there are no beans, none. That is not a preference, that is a law of nature as far as Texans are concerned. And the story goes back to the chili queens of San Antonio, women who, in the 1800s, set up open-air stands in the city's plazas at night and sold bowls of spicy beef stew by lantern light to anyone passing through. They were an institution. The word chili first hit the national stage when a San Antonio chili stand set up a booth at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago and introduced the whole country to it. Texas eventually made chili con carne its official state dish. So when a Texan tells you with total seriousness that real chili has no beans, understand that they are not being difficult. They are defending the honor of the chili queens. And before you go, yes, the famous ones are from here too, and there are a lot of them. Dr. Pepper was invented by a pharmacist named Charles Alderton in Waco in 1885, which makes it the oldest major soft drink in America. Fritos came out of San Antonio in 1932 when a man named Charles Elmer Doolin bought a corn chip recipe for $100 and built an empire. The corn dog on a stick, Fletcher's Corny Dog, debuted at the 1942 State Fair of Texas. Fajitas came from the vaqueros of the Rio Grande Valley grilling the throwaway skirt steak and were first sold commercially by a man named Sonny Falcone in 1969. And the frozen margarita machine was invented in Dallas in 1971 when a man named Mariano Martinez converted a soft serve ice cream machine to keep up with the demand. Those are the ones you already knew. This whole list was the other Texas. Because that is the thing about this state. It is too big, and too many different kinds of people built it for its food to be just one thing. Texas food is a Czech bakery in a little town called West, and a South Texas meat market on a Sunday morning, and a cowboy's Dutch oven out on the range, all at the same time. The brisket and the tacos get all the attention, but the food actually worth driving for is the regional stuff hiding behind them. Now you have got the list, so go find one. If you are from Texas, tell me which one I ranked wrong and what I left off. And beans and chili, yes or no, though I think I already know your answer. And a whole lot of you keep asking about Virginia, a state with a ham so salty they age it for a full year, a soup made out of peanuts, and its own century-old fight with Georgia over who really invented Brunswick stew. That is the next video. If you like your food with a story attached, subscribe and put some South in your mouth.